In this video, we will be going over the second part of the no-cost product launch. And in this part, we're going to be talking all about the product creation. So at this point, you should have selected your niche market so you know what content you're going to create a product around. So the first part of the product launch, step number 2 here of this entire process, step number 1 is choosing your niche. Step 2 is to start creating your product. After you select your niche, it's time to create your digital information product. You want to decide what format you want to deliver your content in. And here's some examples of types of products that you could create for this model. So these are digital information products. You could create ebooks. Many of you have seen those. Ebooks come in the form typically of like PDFs, and they're just ebooks, informations that teaches people a certain topic: how to cure acne, how to get better at their relationships, maybe how to cook, maybe how to improve their golf game, how to run their online business, how to do blogging. Those types of things go really, really well in ebooks. And typically an ebook's about 40 to 50 pages in length, and we'll go over each one of these in a little more detail as well. Video courses, much like what you're watching right now, this is a video course. This is a perfect example of a video course using PowerPoints. You could use a PowerPoint just like I'm doing here. You could do step-by-step screen capture training, so where you could jump to the windows and just like look at your computer screen and do different tasks. So teach people how to use something like Photoshop. You could teach people how to use video editing software, teach people how to mix audio. You could teach people how to use certain websites, how to set up a blog. So you could actually do that as well on top of PowerPoints or a combination of those, which is what this course is actually made up of. You could do live demonstrations of like exercise routines. So you could actually have set up a camera. It could be a phone, because again, this is no cost. So you don't need to run out and buy a fancy camera. A lot of people already have digital camera. A lot of people may already have a camcorder. A lot of you may already have a phone that you could use. So you could actually film doing like things like exercise routines. Film yourself in front of a whiteboard where you're going over the training. Film yourself cooking. That'd be great as well. Audio courses, that's another great idea. Include transcripts for added value. So transcript would be basically what I'm saying right now. This could be transcribed, meaning somebody could take what I'm saying right now, turn it into a written form, and then you've got an entire ebook right there that people could use. A series of short reports, and typically a short report is between 7 to 15 pages in length, so it's not as long as an ebook, which is usually 45 to 50 pages, sometimes 100 pages, just depends on the topic. But a series of short reports, you could have several reports, maybe 4 or 5 7 to 15 page reports that cover various step-by-step topics related. Maybe you're doing a social media course. You could have one report that talks about LinkedIn, one report on Pinterest, one report on Twitter, one report on YouTube, or another, Google Plus, another solution as well. You could also do live webinar trainings as well. This is the beauty. This would actually be a great product for you to create if you didn't want to actually create a product right away. You could actually do an entire live webinar training where you're going to teach people a certain topic. You might be teaching them how to cure their acne, how to improve their golf game. You might be teaching them how to do an internet marketing topic. These are really popular in that niche market, but you do not need your product done to begin and to actually sell this particular part of the system. So a live webinar training is a phenomenal way to create a product without having to have it already created. Coaching services. This is another great thing that you could do as well, where you don't have to have an entire product, but you could do coaching services. Expert interviews. This is where you go out, you interview experts, people that are knowledgeable on a certain topic. And again, that gives you the opportunity to where you can tap into a niche market that you may not be an expert in. So you could go out, interview a golf expert about their top tips, and it's a great opportunity. It's a win-win because they get exposure, they get their name out there. You could even let them plug their website, but you're also getting content for your very own product. And again, with interviews, much like the audio courses, you could transcribe that as well. And then you could also do services for other people. So these are all the options for creating your product. So the last video we talked all about options for your niche research. Well, these are all options for creating your product or service that you could actually sell. Services might include graphic design like Photoshop skills, video skills, writing services. Those types of things would be covered under there. Step number 2 is where we're going to, again, discussing how to create your product, and I'm going to be talking about ebooks as an option. So the steps here, first step's to find your niche. Step number two, we're going to choose in this video course, this particular video right now, what product you want to create, whether it's an ebook, video, and I'm going to share a little bit more details. I already shared a little bit of information, but I'm going to really share a lot more information about each one of these so you fully understand what it's going to take to create each individual type of product, so you can make an informed decision now as to what product you want to make moving forward. Generally, an ebook, again, is between 25 to 100 pages. I mentioned 45 pages. That's a pretty good rough estimate. You really want to, consider including images to spice it up, and also you don't have to use the smallest font either. And you want to space it up. You want to have good paragraph spacing so it's not all run together. You want to make it easy to read. You want to include images if you can. There are places you can actually find, like Google Images. You can actually go to Google Images and do an advanced search, and you can actually choose commercial images that you could actually use in your ebooks. You could also just use your own images, do your own photography as well using your phone camera, if nothing else, or your digital camera if you already have one. That keeps this no cost. You don't want to have to go out and invest in images from like iStock Photo or service like that, because now it's not, it's going to cost you some money. So you do want to try to use images, but you can use Google Images Advanced Search. And at the very bottom there, you can choose license. And when you select license, you can actually choose, commercial usage as well. Less is sometimes more with ebooks. That's something to really keep in mind. Limit the fluff and get straight to the point. People actually appreciate that a lot more. They don't want to have to read through paragraphs and paragraphs of fluff where it's you basically touting yourself and why you're doing your book. But basically, it's just diving right in, much like this course where we're just diving right in to the curriculum and the training and trying to eliminate the fluff as much as possible. So, a shorter ebook, if it happens to be 25 pages, but it's hard hitting, really good, valuable content, people are not going to complain. Tools that you will need for ebooks is going to be like Microsoft Word, which if you already have it installed, we recommend using that. If you do not have that installed, again, you do not need to go buy that. That's the purpose of this no cost income stream. There is a free solution for most everything that you're going to do on the internet. So OpenOffice Writer, you can go to openoffice.org and you can download the suite of tools. It includes OpenOffice Writer, it includes OpenOffice Impress, which is actually their version of PowerPoint, which I'm using PowerPoint, but you could actually use their version of PowerPoint as well for content and training. So, here's some different ideas for creating your outline for your ebook. If you decide to go with an ebook and you have the tools in place, you've kind of understand what an ebook's going to be. And most of you watching this already know what an ebook is. You've seen it, so I don't need to jump into much more detail on that. So we're going to create an outline for your research, and you'll notice here I've got some different modules set up here so you can actually see what it's going to look like as far as outlining your ebook. So you want to look for at least 4 main subject points that you can hit on within your ebook, because each one could become about 10 pages, 5 to 10 pages each, which will get you to that target goal of 25 plus pages for a good, well-rounded ebook. Each one of these modules or main subject points would become like your chapter. And so below each subject point, you want to include like 4 to 5 additional points to hit on, and that'll give you additional writing points when you're creating your ebook. And so this is exactly how I outline an ebook if I'm going to have an ebook written or if I'm going to write one myself. I actually also do this before I create a video product as well. So this is actually, intel on how I actually script out products. And so you'll see here, here's examples for a self-improvement product. So you'll notice module number 1 is all about what is self-improvement, what that means, and then we're going to define what self-improvement really is. So, we'll talk about defining it financially, how that entails, health, spiritual, how it entails with relationships, time management, those types of things. So we're going to kind of discuss very briefly what each one of these is and how it entails, to self-improvement, because all these are important elements: time management, relationships, spiritual improvement and advancement, health, financial. These things all help people. When you get your finances in place, it's going to help everything, the health aspect. When you have things in place spiritually, it's going to help health, relationships. So it all kind of works together. And so that's what the purpose of what we're talking about, in this particular particular example. Module number 2 is improving yourself financially. So you'll notice here, I first outline what self-improvement is, and then right there, I'm talking about, financially. So notice I hit on 5 main points: financial, health, spiritual, relationships, time management, keys to improve your self-improvement. And each one of those is now going to become a following chapter for me. So the first opening chapter is what is it? It introduces this topic, actually very similar to what you guys just witnessed with this product. We opened up, what is this product, what you're going to find, a quick overview of no cost product launch, and then we dove into the different elements of it, which is, finding your niche. Now we're creating our ebook, and then we'll go on to the next steps after this video. Module number 2 is how to improve yourself financially. So steps to improve your finances, things all you would want to cover, and you just have to list these bullet points. So now you know what kind of content to research. Budget, how to get a budget, start a home business, alternative income streams, sell your non-needed assets, investing, and getting out of debt. So these are all steps to improve your finances. Module number 3 was all about improving your health. So you could talk about dieting, exercise, supplements, natural health methods, managing stress. Module number 4 is all about, spiritual growth, Bible study, finding a group of like-minded people, worship, prayer, those types of things that you could, expand upon and you could really dig into to help people understand that importance. And then here's again another part of the self-improvement product here is module number 5, which is relationships, steps to improve your relationships, listening skills, understanding other people, understanding the needs of others, putting others before yourself, taking care of those around you. Module number 6 was time management. What is time management? Methods to improve your time, finding the perfect place to work, what time works best for you, setting a timer, working in focused chunks of time. And then module 7, the final chapter of the ebook. So modules we consider like chapters, for example, would be the closing or the action steps. What are the next steps to improvement? Summarizing everything. So you guys could actually for one, take the self-improvement outline if you wanted to, but also you could follow the same principles when you're creating your product. So fit in your niche market into what I just did there. Introduce the topic, introduce each one of the main topics you're going to cover, and then expand on each one of those main topics. So your book could be about improving your golf game, and you're going to start with, curing the golf slice, improving your driving range, improving your putting game. Each one of those could be a separate chapter within that book. And then you've got closing action steps, or just kind of a summarize to help people kind of let all the content information sink in. And so this is the process for creating an ebook, a well thought out, well placed ebook. Researching your topic. There's a lot of different places when you're going with an ebook. You want to use the internet for your research. Look for relevant websites for your niche market. Forums, those are also big. Watching videos and taking notes, that's another huge one. So watch videos on YouTube, watch documentaries, take notes on that topic, whatever you can get your hands on for free. Again, this is all free. You don't want to have to spend money on anything. Look at similar ebooks currently for sale. You don't have to buy the ebooks, but you could actually look at their sales copy. So look at the niche you chose. Maybe it's acne. You could find plenty of acne ebooks on ClickBank. Take a look at their sales page to see what kind of topics they covered within their book so you aren't missing anything. Consider the Amazon book section and browse the table of contents. Really good example of this would be to look at the Dummies book series of books on Amazon, and they actually have that option where you can hit like the plus sign and actually look inside. You'll see it on the left hand side of Amazon. It says look inside, and that will actually let you browse the table of contents within Amazon books. And so you could look up any Dummies book, and again, we're not saying that you swipe their exact table of contents, but it gives you an idea as to what kind of material you want to cover in your book, what kind of material you want to research on that niche market. So you could go into any niche market. It doesn't matter what that market is, whether you're an expert or not, and you could go use one of these methods, do your own research online, look at Amazon, especially like the Dummies guides, look at what kind of information is covered, and you could script your very own outline, do your research, and create a really good, stellar ebook out of that material, or even a video course for that matter. Take notes for easy writing later. Really encourage that. Have like a notepad available. And again, if you don't have a notepad, this is completely no cost. We don't want you to even have to buy a notepad. You can find scratch piece of paper, printer paper, find something that you can write on, or just type. Obviously you're going to have a computer to be doing this. There's a notepad on your computer as well, so that you could actually just type in there. Record your voice and transcribe it yourself later. That's a really good way to create your product. It's a really quick way to get your book. So technically, if I had this going and I had, I could be recording this, and then I could go back and personally type back everything I'm saying, because a lot of people seem to talk faster than they can type, or they can think quicker when they're talking. Everybody's different. There's some people that they're really good at writing. You may be that kind of person, so you could ignore this step. If you wanted to do this, there's a free software. Remember, I said there's free solutions for about everything online. There's a free software called Audacity, which allows you to record your voice. You can replay the recorded audio and transcribe your content into something like Microsoft Word or OpenOffice Writer. Edit that later, and then your book is completed. So it might take you a little bit of time, but a lot of times in an hour, 2 hours, you could knock out a lot of content that you could quickly transcribe, and within a week's time, you could have your very own product created, or just a couple of weekends. Sometimes all it takes is 1 or 2 hours of recorded content to have enough for a full book, as I mentioned. A bonus of this is that you now have an audio file pre-made to include with your next book launch. So it could be a bonus with your ebook. So you could actually say, and as a bonus, you're going to get the MP3 recording of this entire ebook training, and that's an additional value-added bonus. So writing your ebook, again, if you don't want to do the writing method, you want to attack it one bullet point at a time, using assuming that you're going to use the actual research method that I recommended, and the outline format that I go with. You don't want to try to do it all at once. You want to try to knock it out one bullet point at a time. Don't try to do it all at once. Don't try to do it all in one sitting. It's going to get intimidating, and that's why it really helps if you outline it out, as we proposed in the previous few slides. You want to edit your ebook next using built-in editing and spell check tools. Again, we're all about free solutions. There's no need to pay, for a lot of editing services. Find a close family member or friend to review it if possible. If they'll do it for free, most of the time friends and family are very supportive, obviously, of what you're trying to do. They may help take a look at it. Format the book. Make sure your paragraphs aren't too long. We're not talking about fancy formatting solutions within Impress or Microsoft Word or OpenOffice Writer, but we're just talking about simple things like make sure your paragraphs aren't too long. Long paragraphs are difficult on the eye. It's hard to read, for example. Have bold subheadings within your chapters. So that makes it really easy on people wanting to skim through your book, or see what kind of topics they should have. So every once in a while, when you're trying to make a really important point in your book, have a bold subheading that kind of separates some of the content out, so it's a little easier on the eyes. Have a clear stop and end point for the chapters. Make sure it flows, or make sure it's very clear when it stops and ends. You might want to consider creating an index. Highly recommend that. Again, you don't need anything fancy, but enough that tells people, hey, on page 23, you're going to start to learn about, how to improve, how to swing the golf club correctly, and how to hold it so that you improve your golf score. Make sure your pictures are in the right place so they're not disjointed. You could actually wrap the text on the pictures by right-clicking on them and choosing the alignment option on how the text aligns with the pictures. I would recommend that. That way it just kind of flows. It looks kind of like a newspaper in a sense, where the article and content just kind of flows with the pictures. That's a really good idea. So those are some great ideas for ebooks, everything we just covered. Now, another topic we have here is creating your very own video course. And so this is another element of creating your free product. And we're going to cover how to create a video course in the very next video. This will be part B of this subject matter. We'll go over a video course. If you choose that ebook's not for you, but you think you're more comfortable doing a video, kind of like what I'm doing here, that's what we're going to talk about next.